To be a good designer, you've got to be interested in the way of making things, but as much as you've got to be interested in that, you've got to be equally or more interested in people. When I graduated, I'd already been working for a while designing street furniture, and then there was this opportunity to get involved in this project looking at how people with sight loss are affected by the street environment.
Tuesday the 26th of July.
Sightline is about making roadwork sites easiest to deal with for disabled people. The project is a set of changes to the equipment that's put up around a roadwork site in order to provide a lot more information to disabled people about what's happening. Just getting Sightline to the point where it's really, really widely implemented is going to take another 5 to 10 years. But if we were able to do it, that will be an incredible achievement. A lot of the work I've done around accessibility has been outdoors in the street, but I've also got to work on assistive tech that's used indoors. And I guess the most kind of different environment of the street that I've worked in is the multi-sensory environment, or the sensory room. A sensory room is a space that's used by therapists working with neurodiverse people, for example, people with autism or people with other kinds of special needs. It's a space that can be made really, really dark, and there are these pieces of equipment inside that can create these kind of quite magical and stimulating sensory experiences. I got to work with TFH Special Needs Toys. TFH knew that they wanted to get a computer into the sensory room because they knew that the computer could enable the sensory room to be tailored to the needs of the individual using it. But the people that work in the sensory room, they're there because they like people. They're not there because they like technology. So to make it all work, we had to build basically a system that allowed an iPad to control all of the stuff in the sensory room, and then we had to design and build an app to create the interface experience that we wanted. We hope that through learning control and cause and effect over their environment, they can then be moved on through more ways that like tablet computers can help them interact with the world and moving towards living more independently. I was super lucky to be encouraged to make things a lot as a kid, and I feel like it was a real privilege. And I look at what's happening in the education system, and it feels like fewer and fewer and fewer children are getting those kind of opportunities. And I realised that the best foil for that in terms of getting people interested and engaged was robots, because robots are such an incredible embodiment of technology and creativity, and people just get excited about robots, right? And the first thing was very, very, very simple. It's called the Fizzbit, and it's a little tiny circuit board, and you can plug it into a USB port for 30 seconds, and it vibrates. And you can put it inside a robot you made out of a paper cup or a biscuit or whatever, and it will run around. And so it's a really cool way of getting creative with your hands and making something, but that involves some engineering and some science, and it's fun. We've been running workshops quite often with kids. We give them the stuff and they build a robot. And it seems really silly, I guess, but actually people are learning about proper engineering processes, and then they're understanding how successful they were. To be recognised alongside the other people that are getting medals this year is just, astonishing, really. There's a public perception that being a designer is about building a brand around yourself. And I think that's an amazing thing to do, and it's an incredible achievement. But I think it's a shame if people think only people that want to do that should become designers, because actually the vast majority of designers are out there building stuff not under their own names, that's solving problems for people. And ultimately that's really what the job's about.